Welcome back. Welcome to the Pinch Talk podcast, where Mario and Pat, both of us, we come here to give you weekly baseball content. Last week, we did the AL East. We recorded the AL East. We uploaded the NL West podcast, so check that out. For this edition, we're gonna go over a division that I think is gonna be pretty fucking entertaining because this happens to be the division that Pat's team plays in. So yeah, the American League Central. Now this is a division that's been really bad from top to bottom. Well, not really from top to bottom, but like half the teams have not been competitive for a couple years. This year looks like that trend might break for the first time in a couple years, but we'll have to see. So to start in order, alphabetical order again, we're gonna start with Chicago team, the Chicago White Sox. Now the White Sox, just a little intro, they are in that kind of spot where they're just starting out. Well, not really starting out, but they're just starting out that phase of the rebuild in which they see the light, they see the end of the tunnel, they can kind of touch it, pause, but they're not quite ready yet. Would you agree, Pat?
I agree. They won 72 games last year. They have a lot of their top prospects are now on the cusp of reaching AAA, or they're at AAA and ready to get called up and graduate and get playing time at the major league level and see if they stick and become everyday players. They made free agent signings to kind of complement this group with veterans that have playoff experience in order to kind of guide them along and help them take those baby steps, because their team is very young. So it's an interesting team. I think they're very entertaining, not just from a playing standpoint, but from a personality standpoint. With the White Sox, they have a lot of Afro-Latino and Black players from African American and Cuban players on their roster. They have 3 or 4 Cubans, I think, and it's really cool to see. So, but I'm really excited.
One of those Latino players is their biggest free agent signing, and someone that I was desperate for the Rockies to sign in back-to-back years. They passed on him, as covered last week. Yasmani Grandal. He's one of the best catchers in the league, probably second best catcher in the league, behind JT Realmuto. They signed him to a 4-year deal. I think it's a perfectly fair deal for what he's going to bring. Great framing, terrific hitter for the catcher position, switch hitter. He can play first in his off days, DH, so you keep the bat in the lineup. And I think that's a really fair contract. The other one they gave out, the quote unquote big contract they gave up was Dallas Keuchel. Now he's not, Dallas Keuchel that won the Cy Young Award, of course, but he's still a good back end of the rotation piece. To kind of eat some innings. He's durable, and for a team like this, that's really valuable. The last one that I wanted to talk about before, handing it over to you was Edwin Encarnacion. Now, he struggled a lot in the playoffs with the Yankees last year. Like, Yankees fans were, they turn on him and shit. But I think he can be a solid player, just kind of, quote unquote, kind of stopgap at the DH position, because eventually you might see a younger player up there, maybe Jose Abreu as one of their younger prospects comes up, to first base, Andrew Vaughn. But it's pretty much what Pat said. They made signings for they signed established veteran players, but really what's going to determine how far they go, not just this year but in in the following years, is the young players. And I think that there's a lot of upside. This farm system has been really good the past couple years, and I think really, Pat, like, there's one clear player here that's the one that everyone's talking about, everyone really wants to see.
His name is Luis Robert from Cuba. Signed in 2017, and he pretty much soared through the minor leagues. He's 22, almost 23 years old. He signed an extension with the White Sox, similar to one that they made with Eloy Jimenez before they brought him up.
Yep.
To where he's getting paid, not at a premium, but it's 6 years, $50 million with club options for 26 and 2 club options. So So he's losing 2 free agent years, but
Yeah.
he's also making more money than what he would when you combine
Yeah.
the first 3 years of service time, where he only makes $500,000 a year, and
Absolutely.
arbitration is based on his performance.
He reminds me a lot of. Sorry to cut you off. He reminds me a lot of. I think we talked about this of center field version of Javi Baez.
I think he's more of a Starling Marte. I think that's kind of the equivalent to me.
Really?
Yeah. So Starling Marte, high average, kind of he can hit for power. He can run bases. I think they have a similar approach at the plate, and so do some of the big scouting entities like Fangraphs and Baseball America. That's the comparisons they make. More of a Starling Marte.
Okay.
Luis Robert is really athletic. He's huge. He looks like a wide receiver, that went to Alabama. Honestly, he's 6'3", 185, but he's ripped. He's shredded. He's an elite athlete. Yeah, crazy power. He's an elite athlete, 70 grade speed. He's going to stay in center field for sure. He has instincts and the throwing arm. So he has defensive value, and he also has value with the bat, because when he connects, he hits the crap out of the ball.
Yeah, the reason I say Javi Baez is because they both swing and miss a lot. They strike out a lot, and the elite power for an up the middle player. But I see the Starling Marte too. I think that he's going to be kind of a typical slugger. Really, lots of strikeouts, low on base percentage, high slugging percentage. But I think that's perfectly fine, because he's going to give you plus defensive center. He's a good base runner, and anything you can get from that out of your, aside from that, out of a center fielder is already a plus. The other prospect is Michael Kopech. He is a guy who, if I'm not mistaken, had serious injury. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he got called up last year, and in his fourth start, after it kind of seemed like he was getting it together, he tore his UCL and needed Tommy John surgery.
That's bad.
And it was towards the late year, so he missed all of 2019 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually been optioned AAA, so I think he's going to get reps at AAA before they bring him up. And he's going to be on their expanded roster, because rosters are going to be expanded now because of COVID-19 crisis.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we should expect to see him sometime this year. And there is skeptics that think he won't stick as a starter because of his command and his lack of a third pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, lack of a changeup, I should say. But at the same time, even if he isn't a starter, he should be a high leverage reliever, because he sits around 97, 98, and he has his slider is really good as well. Mm-hmm. So, but another prospect I was really looking at was Nick Madrigal.
Yeah,
I really like him a lot.
Very unique player for today.
Very unique player for today's 3 outcome. He's high contact. He walks a lot. He's very fast, athletic. Steals bases.
Yep.
Look, he only has like a 4% strikeout rate in his time in the minor leagues, which is ridiculous.
That's incredible.
So he just puts the ball in play all the time. That's like Tony Gwynn-esque ability to make contact and control the bat.
Yep.
So the one contract sign I really liked that the White Sox made was signing Aaron Bummer, a young relief pitcher, a lefty. They gave him a 5-year extension for $15 million.
Mm-hmm.
They really liked what he did last year, and they think he could follow that up. And I think based on his profile, he kind of deserved that based on the success he had last year. He only has 1 year service time as well. So he's pretty young. He's only 26. So I think he should be pretty good for them. They still have Alex Colomé as their closer. And I think the Indians should kind of be making some of these extensions with their young guys. But we'll get to that when we talk about the Indians.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So
yeah,
go ahead.
All right. With their lineup, they have a really good lineup. I really don't know what the order is, but you have Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada, Jose Abreu, Yasmani Grandal, Encarnacion, Eloy Jimenez. He should be taking a really big step forward. He wasn't spectacular last year, but he still put up 31 home runs and decent
He
batting
mashed
average.
in the second half too.
Yeah, he ripped that AL apart. They traded for Nomar Mazara, and I think he's kind of a lottery ticket. But if he doesn't, I don't really expect much from him, but he should be pretty decent. Maybe 20 home runs, decent defense. I don't think he's not really a high average or high on base guy.
Yeah.
But they have Lurie Garcia at second base right now, and I think he just stay there until they decide to bring Camacho up. And they have Luis Robert. He's going to be in center field from this point forward. Their bench is pretty good. James McCann, who was really good last year, had a breakout season. He's going to be on the bench now behind Yasmani Grandal, but he's probably the best bench catcher in all of baseball.
Yeah, there was some talk that they might trade him.
They could use him as a good trade piece. That would be smart, and see what you could get for him.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's going to repeat what he did last year because he almost led the majors in batting average, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of especially after kind of a whole career of not really that type of offensive production. You just get that one spike, and it was a spike that was for the first half. Really only for the first half of last year. The second half, he kind of went down to typical, his career production after that point. So I think it's fair to expect, some sort of bounce, decline from him.
Correct. Their starting rotation, they have Lucas Giolito. He really broke out last year, which was expected. He was one of the best prospects in baseball. And after his first year, he was pretty much the worst starting individual starting pitcher in all of baseball, putting up a negative WAR thing and really making adjustments to his delivery and how he throws the ball from his arm slot based on his frame and everything. He really figured it out, and it was really interesting to see.
Yep.
I think he should be their ace. I think he should be their ace for a long time. I think they might be looking for an extension on him as well, because if they know he's going to get big money free agency. But the White Sox should be able to afford it because, they're the White Sox. They're a big market team. And them having the payroll flexibility since they signed their, some of the other younger position players to extensions early should be able to help them make those big free agent signings.
Yep, absolutely. I think that kind of like the big picture with them is that they're this team that, if things click, if the right players keep improving, this is a team that might be serious for the next couple of years, especially since what you said. They got a lot of their key young players signed to bargain deals, essentially. I think it's fair to expect some sort of regression from the likes of Tim Anderson and Yoel Moncada, but I think that's kind of counteracted with the simple fact that they will progress themselves, really. So
they also signed Yoel Moncada to an extension as well. I forgot about that, but their core is really young, and they're making the right steps by surrounding their core of their young guys that are now just out getting service time with experienced veterans that have service time and playoff experience and leadership ability. Because their clubhouse should be really great. I really like their manager, Rick Renteria. He has a lot of respect from those young guys in that clubhouse. And he's also bilingual, which helps a lot because there's a lot of Latino guys on this team as well.
Yeah. That's a good quality for any manager to have, really.
Yes. Be able to communicate with all your players directly. Honestly, I can see this team making a wild card run.
But there's always a chance that things don't go well.
Correct. With the young guys, they just don't stick or pan out. But at the same time, they really gave the Indians fits last year. They almost split the series. It was like, I think they won the season series against us, but they won 72 games, which is pretty decent for the roster they had last year. I just don't know what to expect. There's a lot of reasons to be optimistic, but at the same time, you always got to be skeptical of the young guys until you really see what they do at a major league level.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of variance with this roster from a performance standpoint, but there's no reason to believe that they can't be contenders for the next few years if everything goes correctly.
Yeah, I think in the long run they should be fine, even if a couple of the pieces, maybe don't perform as they expected. Because I think in the long run, like I said, like just the amount of talent that's flowing into the major league, roster. I think that it would have to be a lot of bad luck if for them not to be in a good position.
I agree for sure, because even their depth guys are really talented. They haven't even had Andrew Vaughn come up yet, and he should be maybe in the majors in 2022. Same with Nick Madrigal, and then they still have a whole lot of outfielders at the AAA level as well.
Yeah, I think Andrew Vaughn is kind of he's the type of prospect that will move up really quickly because there's not a whole lot of mystery to him, just the bat. So and he's an advanced hitter already. So I think it's pretty likely that he replaces Jose Abreu at some point in late 2021.
I agree.
At the earliest.
I agree. Well, one notice that they have a lot of DH first base types on the roster.
Yeah.
That seems kind of to be the big thing. They have Zach Collins, Jeremy Mercedes, Andrew Vaughn, Jose Abreu, Nomar Rosario, Edwin is a stopgap though for sure. He should be retired in the next couple of years, I think. Unless he just keeps on hitting 30 home runs in the year. In that case, he's going to get signed by somebody.
Yeah.
And why not? He's one of the best leaders and personalities in baseball. He's respected by everybody. So
great career. Exactly.
Great carear. I love that one. I'm really happy with what he brought to the Indians. I just want to get it out the way.
So yeah, if I had to predict a record for the White Sox, if this was a full season, I'd say that the pace that they'll play, I'm gonna stick around right around 500 because as a sign of kind of my indecision because I really don't know. Like I feel like if everything clicks right and goes right, this team gets to 90 wins just like that. But if things don't work out, players regress, someone gets hurt, 70 wins again, I think is pretty real possibility. So I'm gonna stick around 80 wins, 81, and I'm gonna call it a day.
I agree. Anywhere from 70 to 80 wins is kind of my range for them. If they get momentum and they're young guys, they play hard, they don't quit. They can easily go for 90 wins and be for a wild card. But I don't see that happening.
Yeah, completely agree. Okay, so after the White Sox are done, I think me and Pat both agreed, kind of around 500, whatever. They're difficult to predict. Like that's really the thing with them. So after the White Sox, here we go for the main event of the evening. Introducing first, fighting out of the pinch talk corner, Patrick Ellington. And the champion, fighting out of the AL Central corner, the Cleveland Indians. All right, that was corny as fuck, but go.
All right, we got the Cleveland Indians, my favorite team. Oh man, the people on Twitter will give me the Cleveland jokes. But anyways, nigga, you from Cleveland. But anyways, Indians, they won 93 games last year, and they didn't even make a playoffs, which is the first time it's ever happened in this era of baseball, which kind of sums up the bad luck this kind of core has had during this era of playoff contention.
Yep.
Just to put things in perspective for everybody, they have one of the best, if not the best, left side duo in baseball at third base and shortstop, Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor, and they're only 26 and 27 years old, which goes to show how talented and special they are. They've had one of the best pitching staffs of all time since 2016. They've set records and broken their own records, and they've traded guys out and plugged guys in that they've been just successful, which goes to show you how great this organization is at developing starting pitching and the reputation for developing starting pitching. Their bullpen has been pretty good since 2016. They've had a lot of great and big names, and they're kind of in an era transition where they're plugging guys in. Right now, the objective of the Indians front office is to make the team younger while also keeping them competitive at a playoff level by maintaining some pieces of the current core while developing new pieces of the core as well. Last year, over the last calendar year, they traded Trevor Bauer and Corey Kluber, and those are two really good starting pitchers. Corey Kluber has won 2 Cy Youngs since 2014, which goes to the best individual pitcher in each league. He's been maybe a top 5 pitcher in baseball since he broke out in 2014.
Agreed.
Trevor Bauer hasn't been as good, but
All-star.
His 2018 was really great, and if he wasn't hurt, then he probably would have won the Cy Young Award, if not for a fluke line drive that broke his ankle. 2019, he was kind of struggling, but his peak is really high, and he's a really intelligent player, and so he deserves his props. Carlos Santana was brought back last year, and he had a career year. He's one of the best players in the Cleveland Indians franchise. He's a top 5 first baseman, in my opinion. He's one of my favorite players ever. I've watched him for about 10 years now, and he's been great. They added Cesar Hernandez in the offseason as a second baseman, and he kind of should be a stopgap until Nolan Jones comes up and they put him at third and slide Jose over to second base, because Jose can play second base as well as he can play third. They signed Domingo Santana to a 1-year deal with a 1-year option, and he's kind of similar to Franmil. He kind of should put up maybe 25, 30 home runs if he can stay healthy.
DH type.
DH type. He should be their DH. They have Oscar Mercado. They traded for him for the Cardinals, which kind of seems highway robbery at this point.
I like him a lot. Yep.
Yeah, Gold Glove potential in center field. Could put up 20 steals, maybe 15 home runs, maybe like a 270 batting average. And then if you can draw more walks and kind of hit for doubles and triples, then that would be nice. Roberto Perez, best defensive catcher in all of baseball, most likely. He should have won the Platinum Glove.
Mm-hmm.
He's really great. He had a breakout season last year in his first full season as a starting catcher.
He hit for power too.
Yeah, he's going to give you 20 home runs, and he could go the opposite way as well.
Yeah. You take that from a catcher. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you take that from a catcher. Gold Glove defense and 20 home runs. I don't know about the offense of this team. It confuses me a little bit.
I feel like, and we've talked a lot about the Indians in the offseason, and I've told you that they frustrated me a lot, because I mean, this is pretty much, what we talked about. This is a team that is very clearly, I think that it's undisputable that this team's window, like with the current roster, is closing. And when you have players of this magnitude playing for cheap, to not maximize your potential to win it all, not just to make the playoffs, like that's not good enough. That's not why these organizations play, aside from making money. But to not maximize the potential to win a World Series, I think it's just crazy to me, because you're never, like, I don't want to say never, but you're very unlikely to find a left side of the infield of of this magnitude once again. And
they were cheap. Homegrown.
Yes, and both cheap, homegrown. Like, it's perfect. It's perfect. And they have not been aggressive enough to me. I like as a whole, I like every aspect of this team. I've said this too. Like, I like the rotation a lot. I think it's underrated. I like the bullpen. Should be cool. Although losing Class A obviously hurts, but I think the bullpen should be fine anyway.
Oh my goodness, that was
that sucked. That was really, really bad. I really, really wanted to see it.
Yeah, the timing is awful, because it's post Corey Kluber trade, and while a lot of Indians fans think Corey Kluber is still the same pitcher that he was before.
Yeah.
Everything that happened over the last calendar year, I don't think he is. So, and plus, when the trade happened, people were like, even myself, I was like, we traded him for a reliever, but
yeah, me too.
When it came out that the Indians viewed him as a top 100 prospect type player, and when I looked at his profile and looked at video and stuff like that, who throws 102 miles per hour cutter?
Yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, I'm sold. Like,
nobody.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, I get it. he's a unicorn, and he should be treated as such. And while I think he took the PEDs because he was trying to recover from his injury.
Yeah.
Because when he came over, he said himself, I was traded for a really good pitcher and I want to prove myself to the organization.
Yeah. I feel like he felt
that
pressure.
So I think he got a lot of pressure. He felt that pressure for sure. But one thing that's making me feel a little better is you have James Karinchak.
He's a beast.
And you still have Brad Hand. I mean, James Karinchak struck out 59% of the minor leaguers he faced last year.
Like, y'all know how fucking crazy that is? Like, any of you people listening, that is insanity. Like basically three out of every 5 hitters he faced, he struck out. Even in today's game, that's insane.
Yeah, it is.
Like, no chance. Dog, it's crazy.
Yeah, with James Karinchak, he's perfect for this era of baseball because he mostly plays in the top part of the strike zone with his fastball,
breaking ball,
and then his curveball is a bender from hell that just drops.
Yeah,
it's like a right-hand Clayton Kershaw kind of.
Yeah, like
that's the best way I can put it.
He's a perfect high leverage reliever. Like, I'm not enamored with the term, who you call closer, who you call, just reliever. I just use the term reliever in general. He's a high leverage reliever that you can use right now. So you don't typically see let me put it like this. I think he was ranked 5th on the Fangraphs top prospects rankings for the Indians that just came out like a couple days ago. You don't typically see a lot of relievers ranked that high.
You don't see relievers with a 50 feature value in general.
Yeah.
And Fangraphs themselves said he's a reliever that teams pay a premium for.
Yep.
Which is in the same class as Mayo Clase. So, and they're both young. They're both the Mayo Clase just turned 22 and James Karinchak is 24. So you put them in the 7th, 8th inning and you combine that with Brad Hand, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you have control of him for the next 6 years. And even at the major league level last year in 5 innings, he put up a 36% K rate with a 4.5% breaking walk rate.
Stupid.
And then with Mayo Clase, he's not really a strikeout guy, but he's an extreme ground ball pitcher where people make contact, but since it's a cutter and it's moving across the strike zone and it's 99 to 102 miles per hour, people are making good contact. And the Indians' defense is one of the best defenses in the major leagues, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So, especially when you have Francisco Lindor at shortstop, who, if not for Andrelton Simmons, is the generational shortstop from a defensive standpoint. And from an overall standpoint, he's easily the best shortstop of this generation.
Yes, I agree.
But with him, there's kind of been all over the place when it comes to news of the Indians attempting to re-sign him. And honestly, I don't think they will. He's going to get $400 million in free agency, and he should.
At which age will he hit the market? I think it's like 28.
28.
Okay,
but
yeah, he's going to get...
What he's going to get in free agency is going to be... It should be way more than what A-Rod got for a shortstop.
Yeah.
And honestly, you should get more than Manny Machado and Bryce Harper, if we're being honest.
Oh, 100%. Plays a more important position than a player. Like,
yeah, only players I think should get more money than him in free agency are Mookie Betts and Mike Trout.
I agree. As far as value.
Yeah, as far as total value.
Yeah.
With Jose Ramirez, they have him until 2023 for cheap.
Yeah, it's bargain.
We're very cheap. That contract was highway robbery, and they signed him after 2016 when he broke out. That contract is looking very great. They have Franmil Reyes, and the Trevor Bauer trade looked great for them because they got 5 players back for one. That only had one good year.
Yeah.
Their 40-man roster is kind of a gluttony of outfielders, so they got to kind of go through all those outfielders they have. But the main piece is the main facet this team is going to make it competitive is starting rotation, and that's kind of been what the Indians have been for the last 4 or 5 years. The starting rotation has been the best piece of the team. And you got Shane Bieber, Mike Clevenger, and Carlos Carrasco, which is a great top three.
Yeah.
Although I'm not sure if Carlos Carrasco is even going to play this year because he has cancer and because of COVID, we don't know if he's at risk or not.
Probably is,
and
but
there's no news of him being in remission, so he might not play. And I don't think they're going to force him to play. I expect big things from Mike Clevenger, and Shane Bieber.
Yeah.
They're gonna have Adam Plutko in the rotation just because of the fact that he's out of options, and he's been a pretty decent back of the rotation guy for them. So I'm not mad at that. But when you have the last spot in the rotation, you have Jeffrey Rodriguez, Zach Plesac, Aaron Savali, Scott Moss, and also the other guys that could compete for that spot and do pretty decent. I think Aaron Savali gets it because in the short time in the majors last year, he was great. He had like a 2.5 ERA, although it was a short amount of time. In spring training, Zach Plesac seemed to have a velocity jump, which is kind of interesting considering the fact that most starting pitchers are kind of behind when they first start playing. So we'll have to see.
Like everything looks just fine, but not enough. Is it enough though? Is it enough? Be serious right now. Like, is it enough? Like, is this roster as it's constructed right now? Is this enough? Like, if you face, say, the Yankees or the Astros, or fuck it, like even if you face the A's or the Rays in a wild card game, is this enough to where you can say, yeah, I'm confident as a fan, but as an objective fan?
I think so, but maybe.
See, there's some doubt right there.
There's some doubt, but at the same time, I have Mike Clevenger on the mound, and I have Francisco Lindor, Carlos Santana, Jose Ramirez, and Franmil Reyes in my lineup. Honestly, I'm gonna take that just for the experience, and this team is a 91 team to me easily.
Yeah. It's a very high floor team, like because there's a lot of certainties on the roster. I think my problem is that I don't see a huge ceiling beyond that. I don't see a ceiling that would tell me that I'm comfortable picking this team against a big powerhouse. I'm just not. That's my opinion as an outsider, someone who's fan of an NL team. So I don't pay as much attention to the AL, but I still do pay a lot of attention, obviously. But the Indians strike me as a team that's really good, but not good enough. That's my own. That's my honest opinion.
I agree, and with the one thing this pandemic kind of complicates is the trade deadline.
Yeah, and signing players, and draft, and everything.
Plus the service time agreement to where players are still accumulating service time. You're losing development from minor leaguers that the Indians really are relying on to come up in the next few years, kind of keep the window open and kind of transition a new era. Or maybe help this current core out to where they can go for a ring, or maybe trade for additional piece, major league piece. So one thing I could say is the Indians are at a very pivotal standpoint right now. They're kind of a bit of a crossroads because
they are.
The lease is up on the stadium in 2025. You have a new bargaining agreement in 2021. You have Francisco Lindor
potentially leaving.
Potentially leaving. Most likely leaving, let's be honest, by 2021.
Yeah, a lot of big things happening at the same time.
A lot of things are going on right now that are very, very important. But I don't know. It's just it's just weird. The Indians are in a very weird place to me, and I just don't know how to explain it. I don't know the rhyme or reason for it.
They feel static.
The front office what do you mean?
Like static as far as the major league team.
Oh, static. Okay, I think you said stacked.
No.
To an extent, yes, but at the same time, I'm gonna give the front office the benefit of the doubt just because they're that good. They have the track record. They prove themselves time and time again. They have a rhyme or reason for everything. So I guess we'll see, but. The minor leagues, they have some minor league players that could come up, and Daniel Johnson. He was supposed to come up this year. James Karinchak, Zach Plesac, Bradley Zimmer is supposed to be healthy this year, and maybe we can see if he can make adjustments. Yu Chang, Logan Allen, Bobby Bradley, all kind of fringish guys, but they could have helped the team out one way or another.
Yep.
And I think one facet of the offense that is going to be really good is from a base running standpoint. They have a lot of fast guys that can steal bases.
Yep.
Francisco Lindor, Oscar Mercado, Cesar Hernandez, and Jose Ramirez, obviously.
And past
Nino D. Shields.
Past just stealing bases, just good base running, first to third on a single, shit like that. That really will help.
I agree. But I think this team, it's also a balanced roster, a balanced lineup too, because you can have 4 switch hitters on the infield, and that's going to be really important. With the new 3 batter rule, how do you sequence them?
Yep.
How do you put the lineup in order? Besides Francisco Lindor and Jose Ramirez somewhere in the top 3. Did you put Oscar Mercado at the top of the lineup, or did you put him at the bottom to put Cesar Hernandez at the top of the lineup?
6. I got him 6. So if I put their lineup together, I go Lindor 1, Santana 2, Framil Reyes 3. I go Ramirez 4. I go, who else I'm missing? Cesar Hernandez. I go him 5. Mercado, Domingo Santana, and then Roberto Perez.
So for me, I'm gonna go Lindor, Jose, Santana, Franmil. What up at 5th? I'll put Cesar Hernandez 5th. I'll put Cesar Hernandez 5th. Domingo Santana 6th. Oscar Mercado 7th. Roberto Perez 8th, and then maybe Jordan Luplow. He's gonna probably platooning with somebody.
Yep.
So I'll put him 9th. And Jordan Luplow, I think Jordan Luplow, he can be pretty good if he can break out and learn to hit righties as well as he can hit lefties. Because against lefties, the only players that are just as good as him when he was platooning against lefties was Mike Trout and JD Martinez.
Good company.
That's very good company. Delino De Shields is kind of a throw-in and the Corey Kluber trade, but I think he could be pretty good from a defensive value standpoint.
Yeah, defense replacement
on the basis, he could be a great pinch runner.
Yeah,
and then he's pretty good against lefties, so he could be a pretty good pinch hitter as well. I think Christian Arroyo is going to be the everyday utility guy, and you have Sandy Leon as your backup catcher. And with the bullpen, Brad Hand, Nick Whitgren, Adam Sember, Oliver Perez, Phil Mayton, James Hoyt, and Hunter Wood, or probably James Karinchak.
Yeah.
I think Tito is gonna, with the expanded rosters, Tito's gonna have more arms in the bullpen to throw at people. So I think that's gonna be pretty good. And, Tito, he's gonna bring reliever. He's gonna switch his relievers around and stuff like that. And that's another thing too. Tito's contract is up in 2021. They extended him past 2019. So I think that might be a signal change of the era of the Indians, and that might coincide with the rebuild or like a slight reload or something like that. But
I doubt they'll do a full rebuild. Just knowing this,
they're not going to tear it down. Just the way that they structured everything, I think they should still be competitive. I think they're not going to do like a full blown rebuild where they lose 100 games or 90 games a season for 3 years straight.
Yeah.
And Tyler Naquin is coming back from injury as well. So
this all sounds,
I think he should be pretty decent.
This all sounds good. Like I said, good. I don't know if good enough. I think it's a shame that I'm having those doubts, but that's really it. I think what you said about them being straight up, like the floor is 90 wins. I think that's fair, especially with the state of this division, as we're gonna get into right now. But yeah, I just don't see anything past 95.
I think they can win anywhere from 95 to 97, depending on the Twins. Yeah, it's going to be them and the Twins all the way. Maybe the White Sox getting involved themselves, but
yeah,
the shorter season is going to benefit the Twins, I think, more because it's going to hide their rotation, and their pitching staff as a whole, because the Indians usually have the best pitching in this rotation, in this division by far.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they have the best organization. They promoted Ruben Diablo as a full-time pitching coach at the major league level. The Yankees, just to show how great the Indians pitching organization is viewed throughout the majors and minor leagues, the Yankees signed one of their coaches that they promoted to the major league roster from the minor leagues as their full-time major league pitching coach, and he doesn't have any experience. So it shows how highly regarded they are and how much of a pitching factor they have.
Yeah, it's a good endorsement.
Yeah, it's a big endorsement. So, but I think I'm pretty optimistic, even though the season has an asterisk to it because it's short, because it's cut in half basically.
Yeah, it's gonna be random as fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet on Francisco Lindor and Jose Ramirez, just to kind of carry this lineup.
I can be mad at you for that. I thought you would be a lot more. How do I say it? I thought that you would be like a bit less optimistic, kind of like damn, we fucked up. I'm actually a bit surprised that you seem to be taking this It
could be worse. It
could definitely be worse.
It could be a lot worse.
I'm proof of that. So,
yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like a lot of Indians fans really kind of despise the Dolans.
Yeah.
But I think it's fair, but at the same time, there's an extent that it goes to where it's just ridiculous. Because most Cleveland sports fans have no problem with dealing with the dysfunction of the Cleveland Browns and how awful they are as an organization and how dysfunctional they are.
They're the most respectful team in Ohio sports.
Easily. They're easily the most stable team in Cleveland sports. I mean, besides the Cavs winning out one ring and the Indians coming that close to winning another ring in the same year.
Must have been a crazy year in Cleveland.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. If Cleveland won that World Series, I'm pretty sure Cleveland would have burned to the ground. Just kind of like make it sensible. But
no comment. No comment. So that was the Indians. Like I said, Pat surprised me a little bit with how optimistic he is. I'm a bit less optimistic, maybe because I'm just let down. But that was the Indians. I feel like that was pretty accurate. The team as a whole is good. There's really not that many holes. I don't know if they can do it all. So moving on to a team that is quite the polar opposite, really. Detroit sports as a whole have been just mired in futility for years and years and years. There's this joke I have that the Detroit Lions have not won a playoff game since before 36 Chambers came out, and that's not some shit that I'm just making up, people. That's actually true. So with that, keeping with the theme, the Detroit Tigers. This fucking team, they've lost 1 million games the past 2 years, and it's not looking like it's going to stop anytime soon.
No, it's not. And the fact that their young guys in the minor leagues are missing time, getting time of development is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's really hurting them.
They have a few good pitching prospects.
They have some really good pitching prospects. Matt Manning, Casey Mize, and Tariq Skubal, and that's the first time I've ever seen a white guy named Tariq in my life. Anyways.
Same.
And Joey Wentz.
But
I think he's getting TJ surgery. Their lineup is terrible. It's just a whole bunch of veterans and Miguel Cabrera that are washed, and Christian Stewart, who's kind of an awful defender, but he's a DH. Cameron Maybin, washed. Nico Gilram, he's doing pretty decent. I don't think you can expect much, but he's going to be okay, I guess. Miguel Cabrera is a wash.
Yeah, sadly. I think the thing with the Tigers is it doesn't really matter what we say about the major league team, because anyone who shows any sort of promise, anyone who has more than 2 years of service and shows good promise is probably going to be traded anyway. So
yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's really not a whole lot to say. I think the best way you can sum up this team is that Prince Fielder is still making money from this team, and the last time he played for them was like 2013.
Yeah.
So
He's gonna be getting paid the most out of any baseball player this year because of everything going on. That's what it looks
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Yeah. I think their general manager is. I don't know what he's been doing, but he's kind of bad. Their pitching is awful.
There's no plan.
Yeah, I just don't know what to say. It's ridiculous. It's a clusterfuck.
It's a complete clusterfuck.
It's bad. Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah, there's just no optimism for this team at
zero.
all.
Like none.
Except for the minor leagues, like, and their guys are still a few years away. We don't know how they're gonna perform at the major league level.
Yeah, there's always the risk factor. Like, this is the thing. I said that they were.
You have a great manager. I like your manager.
You do?
I mean, yeah, I like what's his name?
Rob Gardenhire.
Yeah, he's a pretty good man. He's gonna make them play hard. I know that. He's gonna keep their culture together.
Yeah, I mean that's really what you want when the team.
Yeah, that's what you need. Yeah.
So I said that they were keeping the the theme of Detroit sports. I was not joking. Let's do a review of Detroit sports and where they're at, right? So the Lions, we've already explained, they're the most mediocre. I think the Lions are the definition of mediocrity in football. I think that's fair to say. They have not won a playoff game since before 36 Chambers came out. The Detroit Pistons have not won a playoff game since 2008, and they're once again eternal mediocrity. And then you got the Detroit Red Wings, which are just now beginning a brutal rebuild and are the worst team in hockey. And the Detroit Tigers, which are pretty much the same thing as the Red Wings, but in baseball version. So, I mean, like, what else is there to say, fam? Like, this team is so far away from doing anything relevant that it's really not worth even talking about how many games are they going to win. It's really not.
Yeah, it's a waste of time. They're going to lose 100 games again.
Yeah, so it's whatever. So I'm sorry if there's any Tigers fans listening to this. I'm really sorry, but you're paying for the sins of past management, and you're going to be paying for a while. So moving on, I think this is the quickest review of any team we've done. Moving on to a team that might challenge that record we just said, the Kansas City Royals. Once again, same story. They're just beginning the rebuild. They're miles away from competing. Do you have anything nice to say about them?
They're the Detroit Tigers if they can steal bases.
Pretty much. I mean, that's really what there is to it. I'm still shocked that they won a World Series.
They went to 2 back-to-back years.
They went to 2 and they won. I'm shocked that they won.
They were the only AL team to do that, and that kind of shows how good that their farm system was and not roster was.
Yeah.
And for a small market team, that's what you want to do. Yeah. That's kind of like the peak.
Yes. They sucked. They made 2 World Series. They won 1. Now they suck again.
They still have some good players that are going to be good trade pieces. Whit Merrifield, Jorge Soler. Salvador Perez is going to be a Kansas City Royal for life. I don't think he's going anywhere unless he requests a trade. Alberto Mondesi is only 24. He's about to turn 25, and he's really good. And honestly, if he can stay healthy, he's going to be really good because he's going to steal 40 bases a year easily, and he's going to play good defense because he has range.
Yeah.
Hunter Dozier kind of had a breakout season last year, and if he could do that again, he could be pretty decent. He could be a good trade piece as well.
Whit Merrifield.
We talked about Whit. I wonder the Indians could trade for him, but they will have to give up a lot maybe to get him. Mm-hmm. So I doubt it. So. Yeah, he is. Nicky Lopez is kind of like a Cesar Hernandez type player. One thing the Kansas City Royals have done well over the last few years, they drafted pretty well.
Yep.
So their farm system is pretty decent.
They also had an ownership change.
They did. Their owner was actually wanted to part was one of the partial owners in the Indians, and he was going to buy the Indians, but when he saw the Royals, and that's his hometown where his company is located, he decided to buy the Royals, which is kind of what you should do. So good for him. He has money. He seems like he's going to invest in the team, and he's not a bad guy to hand ownership over to. The rotation is awful.
Yeah, like
awful. Like we're not even going to get into it. Their bullpen was one of the best bullpens ever a few years ago, but now it's awful as well.
Yeah, everything just fell apart.
Sad. Yeah, and that's how it goes. You trade guys, you let them go. That's just how they work for small market teams like this.
Absolutely. In their case, it's actually more passable because they went to 2 World Series and they won 1. Like nobody can take that away from him. No amount of losing in the next 4 years can take that away from them. So I think they wasted it, but
they re-signed Alex Gordon, and he's gonna get his number retired probably.
He's gonna block some prospects for some more.
They're not gonna have any prospects there in a minute.
Yeah, I know. I was just making a joke because teams tend to do that. Cargo. Anyway, I think we just beat our own record for the Tigers for the quickest team preview because, I mean, really, like it's just back-to-back teams that makes no sense to really talk about. The Tigers and the Royals. Both teams are going to lose likely, 100-game pace. I think with the short season, though, there's a chance because baseball is just like this. I think there's a chance that there might be some important games and maybe they play spoiler because baseball is dumb.
Oh yeah, they're going to. And plus, Mike McKinney is their new manager.
Yeah.
Since what's his face? Cannot remember that man's name for nothing.
Ned Yost.
Ned Yost. Yeah, he retired.
Yeah, him and his bunts retired. So
looks like one of those get off my lawn type of guys. But,
for sure, 100%.
One thing the Royals really value is up to middle guys because they have a huge outfield. That can play defense, so they value shortstop, second baseman, and center fielders that can play good defense, and that's what they're going to get. I expect Whit Merrifield to get traded for a big package of prospects sooner or later just because he's cheap. He can hit, and he can play pretty much any position on the field except catcher, pitcher, first base, or maybe third. He's a valuable guy. He should be on the playoff roster. Honestly, he deserves that. But the Royals played around with his service time, so there you have it.
Yeah. So I feel like that's the 2 tanking teams back to back. Once again, they're gonna eat a lot of losses. Moving on, the very last team in the American League Central. This is Pat's second favorite team after the Cubs. He loves the Twins. The Twins. I just want to start out with the fact that the Twins won 100 games last year, the most the franchise has won in like 25 years, 30 years, right? And they set a major league record for home runs by a team in a season. Okay, so. And then who did they play in the ALDS, Pat?
They got destroyed by the Yankees.
Absolutely. I don't know the exact number, but I'm pretty sure they've lost like 12 games in a row to the Yankees in the playoffs, which is just incredible.
Yeah, it's like 12.
13.
Oh my goodness.
13 losses to the Yankees straight. That is bullshit. So that's after beautiful. Laughing at them for that, go on.
So in the offseason they signed Josh Donaldson, and I wanted to cry because their lineup is just
terrifying.
It's disgusting. Okay, let's go over these names: Max Kepler, Jorge Polanco, Nelson Cruz, Josh Donaldson, Eddie Rosario, Mitch Garver, Luis Arraez, Miguel Sano, fuck that fat ass bitch, and Byron Buxton.
I think Eddie Rosario might be the worst hitter of the bunch.
It's Mitch Garver. Eddie Rosario is actually a pretty good hitter.
Mitch Garver's the worst hitter of the bunch?
I think so.
Man, I'm not sure. He mashed the ball last year.
Or maybe Byron Buxton, because he can't stay healthy anyways.
Yeah, but anyway, so if those guys are the worst hitter in the lineup, like just think about what the top 7, top 8 looks like.
Exactly.
This is stupid. And the Josh Donaldson deal to me,
their bench is ridiculous too.
Yeah, that's another bonus of having so many good position players. You can rotate people.
You got Marlon Gonzalez as your utility infielder.
Yep. I mean, the position player side, I feel like it's pretty set in stone. I think the lineup is obviously, like we talked about, it's just terrifying. You know, there's power. There's discipline.
I'm gonna put out their 2019 team rankings for hitting.
All right.
Second in average. This is for the MLB.
Yeah.
Second in average, 6th in on base percentage, second in OPS, second in runs, first in home runs, 30th in stolen bases.
Woo. And they added Josh Donaldson to that. That's bullshit, honestly.
But on the other side of that, their pitching is awful.
Yeah. I think the bullpen's passable, but the rotation.
The bullpen's passable, but the rotation is
it's bad.
You got Jose Barrios and the Temptations. You got Jose Barrios. You got Jake Odorizzi. He kind of a flukish season last year to me. Kenta Maeda, Homer Bailey, who's a fit number 5, and Julius Chastain. I think he's gonna make their rotation.
Yeah,
but they had this Jose Barrios and a whole bunch of upper level 4s and 5s, basically. Maybe one of them performs like a 3. But that's it.
The only guy who's above, a number 4 guy is Rich Hill. The problem with him is he makes 12 stars per year.
Yeah, and honestly, in the short season, he should be serviceable. And then you still got Michael Pineda, who's going to come back sometime. So,
yep.
And he has to finish his suspension though. But
they went after Zach Wheeler, and they did not get to sign him.
Thank you. I'm so happy about that. And they just had. Oh my goodness! This is unfair. Why the Twins? Like, what did this happen? They were garbage a few years ago. This is stupid.
They had a great season in 2017, then they were trash in 2018, then they bounced back again in 2019. So if they follow the trend, then they'll be ass in 2020. But I think that a short season for the Twins, we talked about this.
It's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a bloodbath between them and the Indians.
It's going to help them. A short season is going to help them, hide the rotation a little bit. The problem is you cannot hide it in the playoffs, though.
Rich Hill is 40?
Yep. But he throws 89.
Rich Hill is 4. Oh, my goodness. He's been around forever.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He throws 89, though, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He throws 89, and people swing and miss at it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then he has that curveball. I think he's going to be their number 2 guy. And I think they put maybe one of Homer Bailey, Kenta Maeda in the bullpen, maybe.
I think they got to put Maeda as a starter.
Yeah, they do. Julius Chastain should be in the bullpen. They also have my favorite guy ever, Williams Astudillo, aka La Tortuga, one of the coolest players ever. He's gonna hit for like a 400 batting average, but he also does like no power. He's a really cool. He's one of those cool, unique baseball players that you really appreciate.
Everyone likes,
Yeah,
those Davis Fletcher types.
He's built like that really fat kid that you went to middle school with.
Yeah,
but he's athletic too. One of those guys I talk about who's like fast hands, quick feet, like.
Yeah, but he'll build like a barrel.
Yeah, he's built like a barrel, but he could be a ballerina. Those type of guys. The Twins farm system is pretty good. They have some guys coming up soon.
Yep.
That should be contributing.
Royce Lewis,
Trevor Larnach, Alex Kirilloff. They have some pitchers, Jordan Balazovic and Yohan Duran, that they got in the Eduardo Escobar trade that should be contributing.
Mm-hmm.
Luis Arias, he's going to kind of be bouncing all over the place, but he should be pretty good for them.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens.
I think that they're one of the teams most hurt by a shortened season. By a lost season. By a lost season. My bad.
Lost season for sure.
In the case of baseball being canceled, they would really, really, really hurt because this is their time now.
I agree. I think in a longer season, their pitching gets exposed more.
Yeah, and in a playoff series too.
And in a playoff series for sure. Who knows how the playoff season is going to happen this year if it does happen?
Yeah,
but this team is really similar to the Indians in that they don't have many holes, but they have more momentum for sure. Just because they won the division last year, and they made a big signing for Josh Donaldson to add to an already stacked lineup.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give them credit. They're
killing you.
President of operations. Yes. One of my friends, she's gonna be so happy you're agony in my voice when she listens to this because she's a huge Twins fan. But yeah, we're a really great front office headed by Mike Falvey, who was from the Indians front office.
Yeah,
more coaching trees. But anyways,
I think I think it's not right to say that they're like the Indians in the terms that they don't have many holes, because I think they have more holes than the Indians. I think the problem is that the Twins speaks, like their best of the best is better as a whole than the Indians' best of the best, but their holes are also, more pronounced.
Yeah, I agree. Their lineup is going to carry them in a short season.
Yeah,
for sure.
They're going to win a lot of 7-5 games.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, I think the question is, how does that play out in the playoffs, of course? I mean, I think last year was pretty damn easy to tell that the ball that they used in the playoffs was different than the one that they used in the regular season, and that really hurt them.
And one thing people forget is that the Indians came back and took over the division for a short time before they kind of got fatigued, and Jose Ramirez breaking his wrist was a huge blow because Jose Ramirez looked like the Jose Ramirez that we all know who he is in the second half of the season last year.
And the Indians were hurt as fuck.
Yes, because we had so many injuries that hit, and we still won 93 games. And we lost like 5 straight at the end of the season because we could have won the division because we were close. So I think it's going to be the Indians and the Twins down to the wire.
I agree.
With maybe a cameo from the White Sox. I think the Twins are similar to the Indians in that they have a high floor, maybe 90, 93 wins.
Mm-hmm.
At worst, unless they have injuries. I think that's around pace for an 82-game season. I think them and the Indians are going to be around the low 50s.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
We'll have to see what happens. But I'm just looking at this lineup. You have Nelson Cruz and Josh Donaldson back to back.
You know how stupid that is?
Nelson Cruz and Josh Donaldson back to back. Yeah. I'm going to say that again for everybody at home. Nelson Cruz and Josh Donaldson back to back.
That's pretty stupid right there. You know what's another plus? Another plus of Josh Donaldson is that it moves Miguel Sano out of third base.
He's going to play first now. So,
which is a plus.
Yeah, and he has the offensive fiber to make up first base, and then you have Byron Buxton in center. And in a shortened season, he's probably going to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm. The thing with this is that the shortened season, I mean, this is a topic, kind of for its own, podcast, whatever, but the shortened season really changes a lot of the dynamics of the baseball season because it's a lot closer for a good but not great team to stay, and hang with a great team through 82 games than through 162. A lot easier. So you're going to see more randomness. I think that the Twins are helped by that. I think both the Indians are as well. I think the teams that are hurt are the powerhouses because, Yankees, Dodgers, Astros, maybe Braves.
They don't have the 162 games to separate themselves again in the rhythm.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's the whole point of the baseball season being so longer than any other sports season, because baseball as a sport is just so random. There's just so many there are so many things attached to luck or just small details. Then that one game just does not give you an accurate picture. Neither does 50 games, neither does 80 games. 162 games is what you need. So, yeah, I think the standings for this division are pretty set in stone when it comes to the bottom three. I think the top two are kind of easy to flip flop, though.
Yes, I agree.
What would you go with?
I don't know. The Indian Twins are such a close toss-up. It's just reasonably, just being reasonable. They're so kind of close from an overall standpoint.
Yeah, both have flaws.
Because while the Indians have their offensive flaws, if Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor and Carlos Santana do what they do, they're still pretty close. And if Oscar Mercado figures some things out or maintains what he was doing last year, and their team defense is as good as it was last year, and then they have the pitching and run prevention as well that the Twins just don't have available. So it's a toss up, but I'm gonna go Twins win the division by 2 games, between 1 and 3 games. Okay. Indians get the wild card, win the wild card because they can expand the wild card too.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna happen for sure because there's no. Any other year except for last year, the Indians win a wild card. See, 93 games and you miss a wild card. That's the first time it's ever happened in the history of the sport. White Sox kind of maybe 2 to 5 games behind just because it's a short season and they're young and they're going to play hard all the way through, and they're not going to be as exposed maybe. And then I'll go Royals and then Tigers.
Yeah,
just because the Tigers is not much worse.
Yeah, I think I copy your standings really. I think Twins by a very small margin. I think anyone who tells me the Indians will win the division, I think is fair, perfectly fair. But
it's going to be close either way.
Yeah, it's going to be close either way. I'm going like Pat, Twins by just a few games. I think the White Sox will be somewhere around 500, just above it. And then Royals and Tigers just really does not fucking matter. So, that was the AL Central. I feel like it's easy for this division to send 2 teams to the playoffs this year for the first time.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for listening. Everything will be down below. And just as a reminder, a little side note, the show has a Twitter account. So go follow that because there will be updates there, different sort of baseball content, threads, and all that kind of stuff. So go follow that, pay attention to all those checks, stay tuned to the program, and we'll continue to give you baseball content week in, week out. So thank you for listening, and that was the Pinch Talk podcast. Peace.
I can't believe I said that many nice things about the Twins. I'm depressed.